A powerful winter storm caused widespread power outages across Nashville and much of Middle Tennessee, plunging large sections of the city into darkness and leaving tens of thousands of residents without electricity as freezing rain and sleet battered the region. The outages began late Saturday and escalated rapidly overnight as ice accumulated on trees, power lines, and utility equipment, creating hazardous conditions that disrupted homes, businesses, and essential services. Please subscribe, like, and share. Back to the story. Nashville Electric Service officials said the outages were primarily caused by ice buildup that added excessive weight to overhead power lines and tree limbs. As the storm lingered, branches weakened by the ice snapped and fell onto distribution lines, knocking out transformers and damaging poles throughout Davidson County. In many areas, entire circuits failed at once, resulting in large clusters of homes losing power simultaneously. Utility officials stressed that the issue was not a shortage of electricity supply, but rather physical damage to the local distribution system, which is particularly vulnerable during ice storms. At the height of the storm, more than 150,000 customers in Nashville and surrounding communities were without power, making it one of the most significant outage events the city has experienced this winter. Neighborhoods across the metro area reported prolonged outages, with some residents losing service for many hours as icy conditions made it difficult for crews to safely access damaged sites. Slick roads, fallen trees, and blocked streets slowed restoration efforts, while ongoing freezing temperatures increased the risk of additional line damage as ice continued to shift and fall. The outages coincided with dangerously cold weather, raising concerns about indoor heating and public safety. Many homes rely on electricity for heat, and the sudden loss of power left residents scrambling to stay warm. Emergency responders warned against the use of unsafe heating alternatives, including generators and grills used indoors, after receiving reports of carbon monoxide-related incidents. City officials encouraged residents to conserve heat, stay indoors when possible, and check on elderly neighbors and those with medical conditions who may have been especially vulnerable during the outage. Nashville Electric Service deployed hundreds of line workers, tree crews, and support personnel to respond to the damage, with teams working around the clock to restore service. Crews focused first on repairing major transmission lines and restoring power to critical infrastructure such as hospitals, emergency response centers, water treatment facilities, and shelters before moving into residential neighborhoods. Officials noted that restoration during ice storms is often slower than during other weather events because repairs cannot begin until conditions are safe enough for workers to operate bucket trucks and climb poles. Utility officials also explained that ice storms are among the most destructive weather events for power systems in Middle Tennessee due to the region's dense tree coverage and above-ground power lines. Even a thin layer of ice can weigh several times more than snow, placing enormous stress on branches and wires. As temperatures fluctuate, melting and refreezing can cause delayed failures, leading to additional outages even after the main storm has passed. The storm renewed discussions about infrastructure resilience and the challenges utilities face in maintaining reliable service during extreme weather. While long-term efforts such as vegetation management and equipment upgrades have helped reduce outage frequency, officials acknowledge that ice storms remain difficult to prevent entirely. Residents were urged to remain patient as crews continued repairs and to report outages and down lines through official channels rather than approaching damaged equipment. As conditions gradually improved, power restoration progressed across much of Nashville, though officials warned that some areas could remain without service for extended periods due to extensive damage. City leaders emphasized the importance of preparedness during winter weather events and encouraged residents to stay informed through local emergency updates as the region worked toward full recovery.